Hello everyone, this is MaffumanCasting, the Starcraft Star Battle. This is a 6-on-6 ship buddy action game starring Von Neumann. Von Neumann is going to start off with a little bit of attack fighters and range. Good for farming up. Has 1.82 speed, so we can get out of places very quickly as well. Lang going to start off with that Evolve infield upgrades, meaning that he spent most of his money, but he can spend any of it on the field as well. See, he just got something Locust right there. We got HK Nickel. HK Nickel going to have some Dark Swarm. Dark Swarm is a fantastic Guardian ability, usually pretty worth it to get at any point, even in the very beginning. KPX going to start off with no upgrades. Hopefully he goes back to base at some point. He does need to spend that type of money. He looks like he might be going to do that. Pyroneko going to come on in there. Also going to have to upgrade back at base. Looks like E-Min's Extreme is going to move on in there with the longboat missiles. Looks like Von Neumann is being pushed back by GetOSC and Marzul. GetOSC has 2 upgrades on his backlash and lasers. Terran ship plating 0, but 1.71 speed. Marzul 1.61 speed. A little bit of range and lasers as well. Looks like a little Guardian on Guardian action right here. HK Nickel versus Yvnas. Yvnas doesn't have any abilities, so he is able to just stay in the natural protection of the gas right there. Looks like he might have more range, yes, than HK Nickel, because he has that upgrade right there. Over easy, and Rip's going to be on the I guess stage left side. Farming over here, pushing back this Leviathan. Rip has Blink. Over easy is going to just shoot his longboat missiles at 4 upgrades, really doing a whole bunch of damage if he gets close enough to an HK Nickel to do it. Monkeyfoot providing some support. Only has 4 laser batteries to farm better, but doesn't have any abilities except for his innate shield transfer ability. Pyroneko, a little bit of offsides, little frigate on frigate action right here, and 2 frigates are bigger than 1 frigate. 1 frigate with 6 laser batteries, definitely going to one-shot things, and but against all of this firepower, he actually is in quite a bit of a danger zone right there. Marzul following up, has the 1 backlash rockets and is punishing that. Rip is going to take damage for all this, but will they actually pick up the kill in the very beginning? I mean, if they really super commit, maybe, but Pyroneko is going to have to get on back to base. Looks like because of that, the 2 ships on the blue side allowed this to be basically a localized 4 versus 5 scenario. That means that the red side was able to push up while the right side was sort of leaking. We're going to use stage right and stage left, I suppose. Von Neumann going to move on back to base, or at least move out of combat directly. He will eventually get some shields. He doesn't have the biosteel just yet. You can upgrade it in the very beginning. I don't mind doing that. It's just it does cut it about half your money, so not everybody does it. Lang gonna move on away. He's got the infield upgrades, and you see as soon as he is not hurt enough, he can start using it. He could buy anything right here. You could buy any base abilities. You can't buy any installations. No learn. KPX going to move on away. He's going to be chased by the entirety of the blue side. But will this actually be enough to pick him up in the very beginning? Lang, although injured, is going to have to be scary enough to push him away. And great option right there of using Dark Swarm. Dark Swarm gives that little area of protection. You can't shoot inside of it. So KPX is going to be able to escape from there. HK Nickel has 2 abilities, Adrenal Overload, and Dark Swarm. And Dark Swarm basically gives him that area of protection and healing for the Guardian itself, nobody else. And Adrenal Overload, although it cost health to do so, if he was ever EMP'd, he could get his energy back super quick. So the 275 that he has would be a little bit of an investment to just have 1 ability, Dark Swarm, that costs 100 energy to use. However, because he has Adrenal Overload, he can basically stay there without having to upgrade his energy too much more. Usually, the recharge rate of 275 is not very quick, but with Adrenal Overload, he does have that ability to stretch that 1 ability right there. And farm, while he's doing that. Looks like the blue side's going to get on back to base. None of them were super injured, but all of them were more injured than the other team. They weren't able to pick up a kill right there. Using that gas right there, these House Tempests are not able to shoot HK Nickel. They're going to automatically shoot somebody else that they can. Von Neumann going to move on in there. Got the laser batteries, is going to punish them. Is going to possibly be a little bit offsides though. Looks like we got a sneaky Over Easy as well as Marzul. Over Easy has Nuke. has the nuke in the very beginning of the game, spent almost all his money right now, but if he gets that good kill, he could get it. It could be worth it right there. Can I see he's going to warp on in there as well. We got Yibnas providing damage. Overeasy decides not to nuke right there because he knows he possibly can. Oh, he means Extreme launching a nuke at the nuker. Reverse nuking right there. Overeasy's going to have to move on back to base or take a whole bunch of damage. With that, KPX going to be slow. No, he's actually pretty quick to get out of there. 1.82 speed. No other upgrades, but he is just scary and boom, picked off by GetOSC using his fusion torpedo. E-means Extreme running away. What did nuke the person, but to scare the one battlecruiser off. The entire rest of the side showed up though. GetOSC using the fusion torpedo, meaning that he doesn't have very much money for other stuff. He's going to have to farm up. He's got the 2 laser batteries. We're still in the 10-minute mark for the next 2 minutes, so that he is still just 2-shot farming. Pyroneko gonna try to retreat. He's got 7 laser batteries, so he can definitely kill these little ships. But as far as actual capital ship damage, he's a little bit lower than that. Red side retreating, figuring out what they can do. However, he still hadn't used his nuke, so he still has it in play. He's at full health as well. Looks like RIP is just going to be in the Goldilocks zone with Yibnas. They're both trying to just hungry hippos, all of this stuff without taking too much damage from the battle station. You can see the battle stations kind of overlap, but that's kind of where you want to be. Looks like E-means Extreme as well as Von Neumann. Now E-means Extreme just left, but Von Neumann is kind of controlling both of them, and basically he's just being 2 people at the same time, kind of pushing up there. Yibnas launching some corrosive acid. Corrosive acid lowers the target, the armor of the target by 4 and stacks up to 7 times. Decreases movement speed by 0.05. It matters, and less for 16 seconds. Looks like with that, he did scare off the duplicate people right there. HK Nickel is going to launch a Scourge, going to hit Rip a little bit. Rip did have a blink on cooldown, so he could do that. He's going to launch even more, and you see that's where he's using his 3 abilities. 1 to protect himself, 1 to do some damage, and Overeasy is taken out by Lang. We got HK Nickel launching a more Scourge at Yibnas, really relying on this adrenal overload to recharge his energy. Wouldn't otherwise be able to support 2 abilities with only 275. But with that, even at the cost of health, he can he can support these 2. Can't stay forever. Can't just rely on that. But with that, E-means Extreme is killed. Looks like Lang is going to protect. He's going to use his acid spray. He's going to move away from GetOSC. He knows that there is a fusion torpedo in play. He doesn't want to be taken out by that. Monkeyfoot going to move on in there. Monkeyfoot has the EMP. EMP used on Lang. Lang can't use his 2 abilities because he has no energy right now. Only has 250 to support it, so he'll be out of energy for a while. Pyroneko going on the side. 1.82 speed is pretty speedy, but when you have 1, 2, 3 ships kind of cutting him off at the edge, Yibnas moving in, corrosive acid being used, lowering that armor count. Armor count is already super low. Using the fusion torpedo to shoot down Lang, does a little splash damage, also hits his allies. We got Yibnas running away, kind of backing up, using that, the Brittlings and the acid spores only fire if you're going forward, so he's doing a little Michael Jackson moonwalk right there, very important to do, but also just costs extra money, or effort and time. We got Lang being hurt right there, HK Nickel saving the day with some Dark Storm, no even earlier pickups. We got Von Neumann being hit by a whole bunch of people, the Scourge being launched out. Rip is blink his own cooldown, and he's actually going to be hurt right there. He's only at 372, so he actually is going to have to move on back to base. Will he make it back to base? We'll keep a little eye on him while things are going on. He only has blink. If he had warp, he couldn't use it anyway. He's pretty speedy, 2.06, so he probably should be able to get there, but he's going to be pretty darn low by the time he gets back there. Lang, not sure what to do there, because he just has, his slappy tentacles. He is thick, but all these things do very good far distance damage dealing to him. And yeah, the Void Ray is going to have go back 135 health. Omar Azul 762 right there. GetOSC warped back as well. It looks like we got Yibnas 261 and Monkeyfoot about 650. Might have a little bit more if he stays there. Kind of a question of whether he wants to though. there's always the desire to get more and more money. However, there's always only one life, so if you are a little bit greedy, then things might not work out as well as you think. HK Nickel has every ability in the book, basically. Has Odream Overload, has Dark Swarm, Parasite, Corrosive Acid, Scourge. Parasite, fantastic to use against Void Rays. Also helps out with Scourge to a great degree. I think he saw that that Marzul jumped on in there, didn't want to tango with that for too long. Because he has so many cool fancy abilities, he only has 1.61 speed, super slow, and Needle Spines only at 4. Can two-shot farm these little guys, but the Acid Spores, the Brutally Strikes, not that much. He's going to kind of try to see if he can get there, but he's not going to be able to do that right there. Marzul jumping on in there, Afterburners, making HK Nickel launch around to Scourge. Nope, not quite. He moved out of the area. Get OC and Lang, Get OC playing keep away. Has the Fusion Torpedo, so he spent a lot of money in the very beginning. Because of that, he doesn't have very much in the way of laser batteries, backlash rockets, some range, but not that much. Lang. Oh no, the red laser beam of death is a hit right there. Is it enough to kill him? No, but it did a whole bunch of damage. It did about 6,000 damage. HK Nickel flying around. He's being he's rapid regeneration right there because he's in his own gas. But it looks like a Monkeyfoot's going to launch irradiated things. It only works against Zergs, but there's 2 Zergs on this. Tower taking a whole bunch of damage. Get OSC. Marzul. Doing the, working on the railroad. Marzul, because he has, didn't spend the money on Fusion Torpedo, he has Afterburners, much cheaper ability, has much more money to spend on Backlash Rockets. He's much more of the, multiple rocket boat versus just the big wang attack of the Fusion Torpedo, Red Laser Beam of Death. Lang taking a whole bunch of damage right there because of the irradiate. With only 2 Zerg ships, that will help out. HK Nickel doesn't have any Broodlords. It's actually one of the few abilities he doesn't have, but if it ever does, they would also affect the Broodlords a lot. Rip, gonna run away. Rip does have a Wiggler on him. The Wiggler helps, give vision. Rip doesn't have a cloak yet. He might get it. He doesn't have it just yet. If he does get it, he couldn't. He could use it. It just would be able to be seen. But the most important thing that happens is these Scourge can follow. They do know where this Void Ray is. Even if the Void Ray blinked, he's going to have the Scourge chase him even further. If he didn't have the Parasite on him, the blink would have stopped the Scourge from seeing them, more than likely. Lang has the Rapid Regeneration. He's got 350. He wants to use these 2 abilities. Acid Spray to lower the armor count and also do some damage in the area. Helps him farm. Rapid Regeneration keeps him alive. However, all these things do far distance damage dealing to him. He is designed to take damage, but not forever. HK Nickel playing defensive, launching some Scourge, gonna go up there. They're gonna retarget to Ghetto. I think they were originally on Gimnas, then they retargeted to Ghetto because he was in the area after they lost vision. They're gonna fly around though. They're gonna play around with the Sky Furies. The Sky Furies belongs to the house. Whatever slight advantage you can possibly get is great. HK Nickel used his Dark Swarm to stay alive. Looks like with that, the Tempests are going to move up the middle right there as well, surrounded by their allies. Lang moving back, launching some Locusts. The Locusts are pretty upgraded, surprisingly, and that can really make a difference when you're trying to take out some Tempests without taking damage yourself. However, with all the support ships right there, was not quite able to do it. That's where the Acid Spray is super helpful. Does 100 plus 500 to massive in an area, and the Red Laser Beam of Death is another connection right there. Marzul jumping on in, another second Red Laser Beam of Death. Lang moving up to avoid it. HK Nickel moving closer to launch his Scourge, and with that, Rip is going to push him up as well. Now Lang is going to be very careful. HK Nickel is at so little health. Lang at so little health as well. We had about 1,000. He's being healed. 1,000. He's also going back to base. Rip taking a whole bunch of damage, and he's going to have to blink up. With that, Gimnas is now the one who's quite hurt. He has about 1900 life, and he is going to move back to base. He doesn't have anything cool, though. He doesn't have anything like Dark Swarm, so he's just going to have to move back 1.71 speed. Not very speedy. Should make it back to base, though. We got a Getaway C, as well as Marvel just slapping down this tower. Scourge being launched out, and the tower is gone. With that, Marizul has enough shields because he upgraded 10 times that even though his armor was being drained, he was able to survive that round of Scourge. Really playing defensively as much as they can, because that's the only thing they really can do when you're that outnumbered. You have to rely on whatever you possibly can. We got HK Nickel launching some Scourge at Rip. Rip's going to move away. He blinked. He blunk. So the Scourge retargeted to the next thing they could possibly see, which was that monkey foot. Lang moving in there, launching his things, and moving out. He doesn't have very much money. If he had more farm, he could be even more of a threat. But he only has life, armor. He has the I'm gonna find the actual name of it. Adaptive plating gradually increases the armor when life is decreased up to a maximum of 100% of the base armor. Because he's at a little bit less health, but I was perfectly fine. When he was at lower health, he got more armor boost. Super helpful to do, especially when you're forced to take damage right now. HK Nickel just trying to survive, launching those Scourge. He launches 20 Scourge at a time. He started off with I think 14, and he upgraded that, so his main launching his stuff is even better than it was when he started. Marzul pushing in. Now this command center is just healing. Von Neumann must have dropped out at some point. Really not going to try to stay in game when he looks like it's not going the right way. We got Rip running around trying to farm. He has about 900 money. Yibnas 186. Marzul launching the red laser beam of death, and it is another connection. Yibnas diving in there, not able to take him out. Does have needle spines upgraded, and as well as corrosive acid. Corrosive acid to lower the armor count, and then needle spines just kind of farm, do all that stuff. Helps out a bunch with the Scourge as well. Scourge only have 120 life, so 44 damage from needle spines. It might be able to take out one or two of them on the way. It's not great. There are other ways of mitigating it, but when you don't have any splash damage, then that's all there. Getaway C taken out though because of all the Scourge and staying in the base too long. Lang able to finish him off. And another round of Scourge launched out at Marizul. Marizul's going to have to run away. He's got laser batteries as well, but he has about 1,200 money to spend. It looks like Yibnas has about 400. We got Marizul on the retreat. He's going to use his afterburners and run away a little bit faster. Any couple extra seconds that he can be running away is helpful. He increased his speed a little bit, meaning he could fire some more laser batteries and also have Yibnas provide some laser battery support with his needle spines. We're just gonna call everything lasers, basically. We got Sky Fury moving in there, Lang and HK Nickel trying to push up as much as possible. Lang taking some damage, launching his acid spray, slapping down these things, these tempests. He wanted to be in the middle, and it looks like Monkeyfoot is just gonna fly around, trying to farm as well. But this is a really smart play right here from the two Zerg ships. Looks like Lang and HK Nickel, yes, they just got a kill. They're feeling better about that. They don't want to push up too much because they know that there are still, all these people who can attack them, especially a Void Ray. And, they're going to stay by base. And with that, Yibnas is going to move on in there. Let's say he spent his money on speed. It looks like he just went for speed range is what he upgraded. He went from 7 range, I think, to 10. Has acid spores, broodling strikes, commensurate upgrades as well. Didn't upgrade how much damage they do, although you could. He just went for extra range on there. Rip looks like he is has charge as well as 100 damage on his prismatic beam, upgraded a little bit faster. Phase disruptors. You can either choose to upgrade how much damage you do into capital ships, or to the little farm ships. Looks like he went mostly for capital ship damage. Marazul has backdash rockets, has afterburners, had the torpedo, and went for Rip Wave warheads as well. Basically going to try to splash damage down this entire tower. H-Connect going to push on up there. Yivnas going to move in, launching his Scourge, but he doesn't want to commit too much. Lang as well doesn't want to leave the protection of the command center, but he doesn't have to. It looks like Monkeyfoot providing a little bit of GAC support, defensive matrix, giving that to Marazul so he can tank a little more. There's no tanks on the blue side, so that is the best you can do right there. Yivnas moving in, using that range, mostly on his needle spines. Lang being protected by the mothership, but still, Rip is going to push on in there a little bit more than he can do that right there. We got Lang at about 2,000 life. He's going to be having a lot more armor, but some of that is being added and then removed from commission from corrosive acid. Guardian staying in his little gas, being protected. The command center taking a whole bunch of damage because of these Rip Wave warheads when they were being used. H-Connect launching some Scourge. Marazul going to move on in there. Because he was affected by the defensive matrix, he decided to turn into the attack. Rip doing the same move right there. Defensive matrix surrounds the target area with a shield that reduces most hits to the minimum damage. The shield's not perfect, some of them leak, and that's his full damage. But in that 5 seconds that it works, you can do that. It looks like Yivnas is going to say, he's going to get broods and share control. Gahossi is dead, so he's not going to come back, but he can control where the brood lords move once Yivnas upgrades them. Looks like Rip's going to try to sit there, do some farming. They're going to move back a little bit further. I think they're trying to bait the Zergs away from the mothership, but they don't want to quite do that. I think they're smart enough not to do that right there. Marazul setting up that line. Lang, although moving closer to the line, doesn't cross it, and H-Connect pushes up away from it. Looks like they really want to get a tasty frigate right there, but they're not going to be able to quite do that. Lang's not slow, but he's at 1.71 speed. It's not as fast as he could be. Does have Frenzy. If he's ever in the, in his happy zone, which is basically at 5, where his tentacles work, he can double how much damage he does with his tentacles as well as his Vile Swarm. If you're ever close to a Leviathan, then that is bad news right there. Especially when you're squishy, and everybody on the blue side is squishy. Void Rays are squishy. Guardians are, Ravens is frigates, all that stuff. Not very high armor count. So it looks like Yivnas trying to protect as much as possible, farm up that little bit that he can. He is pretty speedy, 1.82 speed, 1.71 for both of them. H-Connect and Lang didn't need the most amount of speed because they never really left their base, and they're still not doing that. It's actually, again, really smart play, very cautious, not trying to take too much, because they know that if they go up to the base, the Void Ray, who they do have vision on, can do more damage. Void Rays upgraded his prismatic beam, 120 every 0.36. He's going to launch also this little sadness bubble. Little sadness bubble does work on anything that's in the area, slowing it down. Creates a distortion field at the target location. Light units caught inside the field have their movement speed, attack speed, and cooldown slowed down by 80%. Capital ships caught by this area have their attack speed and cooldown slowed down by 50%. So they don't slow down, but they just shoot less. And their abilities take longer to upgrade. Control shared. So now Yivnas is spawning all these little guys and recharging his 500 energy with these broodlords. These broodlords are being moved in by Ghetto. Although, I mean, Yivnas can move him as well. It's shared control. Looks like, Sadness Bubble directly on the Scourge. Marazul slowed down, shooting a little bit lower, but now everybody in there is shooting. Monkeyfoot protecting with PDD. PDD don't do anything against the Scourge, obviously, but the little Vikings can't shoot. They're hey, give me a little Viking. They're 14 damage. Lancer torpedoes. Monkeyfoot gonna move on in there. Gonna use that the irradiate feature. H-Connect is gonna launch a Scourge. Nope, decides to not do that. He didn't cancel them. Monkeyfoot just ran away quick enough. We got all these brood lords in the area. Sadness bubble being used on that. Oh, good shot from this acid spray. Acid spray doing a bunch of damage to the brood lords. And it looks like he's going to move on there. Does Acid Spray not work against Point Defense Drone? That's crazy. Hold on. That's twice in a row we've seen that happened. And it looks like Monkey Foot going to launch in there. HK Nickel going to stay by base, but just do a bunch of damage and launching these Scourge. 20 Scourges still. He could upgrade them, but it just costs more money. It's Rip going to just stay there. Now, Voidways do a whole bunch of damage. They do 120 every 0.36 seconds. It's one of the highest, it probably is the highest, damage things that can happen. However, at base, they're going to take some damage from the laser beam, if their missiles are away, and they can't use their cloak. He doesn't have cloak anyway, but he could be detected. So they are really good for everything except for base killing. For if Lang was out in the open, he'd be a lot bigger in danger by the Void Ray. HK Nickel really wants to launch his Scourge, but really can't. Only has Needle Spines upgraded. Everything else though isn't, because he was trying to just be on the attack and launches Scourge's defense. But now that there's bubbles all over the place to slow them down, it's a lot less effective. PDD is being used, trying to protect. Lang taking a shot right there, but also Marisol taking a whole bunch of damage. We got the very close match right here. We got Lang pushing on that there. Marisol 45 gone because of Lang. Lang used his acid spray. It does 600 damage to massive ships, and that was enough to take him out. Looks like the frigate is gone. Both frigates are gone right now. Yibnas just sitting up there, has his Brood Lords, and when you launch Brood Lords, you also get a little Corruptor Buddy. Corruptor Buddy is right here. Also get the upgrades that the Brood Lords get. We just call them Brood Lords because that's like the main thing. They do Parasite Spore. They shoot down to some degree some of these, not very quickly, but somewhat. Brood Lords can only shoot capital ships and the base. But Corruptors do a little bit of of protection against that. Monkeyfoot's just sitting there like, okay, well, let me just farm up a bit. He does have his point defense drone. He has 675 energy to support that, and let's see how much money it now says. 1100 money. 1101, 2, there we go. Rip. Now deciding to move on out. Had a little bit of money left over. That happens sometimes. It's very hard to know exactly how much money you have when you're just pressing buttons. He had 18 left over, good enough. And he's going to be protected by the PDD. PDD, does shoot down anything that's in an area. But you can just keep on spawning that whenever he has it. Times out after 90 seconds, but it does shoot down any moon missiles. Rip moving in there, he's trying to get, an attack on, but he knows that with both the HK Nickel and Lang in the area. HK Nickel now has Brood Lords as well. A little Brood Lord on Brood Lord action. 15 range with no upgrades because he spent all his money on other stuff. To 17 range, 80 every Broodling strike. And of course the Broodlings that are struck from there. Hey, nope, I want one of these. Hey, they're very quick. But they have 95 health, I saw. And they do about a third with that, so a third of 80, it's something. I'm not going to do math on air. But it is enough that it's doing some damage to this Leviathan. Probably right now, not very much. Definitely to a Guardian that has only 14, though. They have 95 health, which is actually quite a bunch. The Needle Spines will retarget to the Broodlings as one of the highest priorities. So you won't be farming if you're taking Broodling strikes because they're right on you. They're doing some damage, but they have enough health that at this point that they are a significant couple of shots, a couple of extra seconds where you're not shooting down anything else because your Needle Spines are focusing on that. Rip being strong, using his charge, then also being attacked. He is in a position where he's just wants to be more helpful than he can be, But he is a Void Ray. Void Rays he did upgrade his armor on his shields a bunch, and also his armor normally a bunch. But he just really can't dive in there and just like kill somebody because he just is a Void Ray, and they don't have very much health. He only has really you can just ignore the Protoss hull right there. He's basically shields. As soon as the shields are out, he's going to go from 15.5 armor to 11 armor with that. PDD's blocking everything, especially even the little Viking moving in. Monkey Foot only can upgrade burst lasers. His most damage he can do are these Irradiate and Seeker Missile, and Lang's going to move on in there. He has the frenzy going on, but he doesn't want to do that too much. Now Rip's like, ooh, you're away from the base for like a couple of seconds, let me try to do some damage right here. He's going to take some damage though. Rip does have Cloak, but Lang does have Acid Spray. Acid Spray does stuff in an area. That area still counts even if Rip can't be seen. And HK Nickel is has the Parasite on cooldown. It looks like Yibnas is going to move on back. He's got 1400. And Rip has 1500. He can try to move in there with Cloak. He went for weapons free for a second, so it's a pretty smart move. With Cloak, you can kind of see if the Void Ray is shooting out from the cloaked area, and if you're shooting, well, then you know when it is. I mean, you can watch the shimmer, but the shimmer is hard to see sometimes. If you're not shooting while that's happening, then you can be safer. But you want to weapons free yourself. So you are shooting down the farm ships now. With that, HK Nickel got to move away, and now Monkeyfoot's Radiate is really devastating against the Brood Lords and Corruptor combination. Unfortunately, the Zerg ships have the disadvantages of their Zerg ships, and so will always be susceptible to Irradiate. Yibnas gonna launch all of his babies right there. You see when you upgrade, when you shoot out Brood Lords, you also get Corruptors. Corruptors, 200 life, 10.5 armor because they have about half of that for their upgrades. So 21 upgrades, 10.5 armor. Looks like they get 75 regular damage to the Interceptors, Locusts, farm ships, and 218 to massive ships. So they are much better at attacking massive ships. However, they provide a little bit of support to the Brood Lords, while the Brood Lords do the capital ship damage. They cost 250 or no 150 to spawn, and that is still a lot, especially because you can just spam the key. So your 675 that you have is gone pretty quickly. And with that, he's going to have to use Adrenal Overload to recharge that. Lang going to move in there. Lang's going to shoot his Acid Spray. Going to move in there, even using Frenzy, not an over-exaggeration. He really wants to try to get that Yibnas, but he's not quite able to do it. Is going to just keep on moving back. He's got a 575 energy, so he can actually do that for a while. Going to move on back to base. He's being, Purifier beamed. HK Nickel shooting up there as well. Lang wants to do some damage. He's got the, the health reserves that even though he looks he's in, the deep orange, his deep orange, his, 7,000 life is more than, a lot of people's. Or at least comparable. And again, while he's taking damage, his armor gets increased. So the closer he is to dead, the more armor he has. Up to double, essentially, at the very last seconds. Not that you want to super rely on that, but things like the Broodlings do a lot less damage. I think we're fine with Brood Lords. Yep, 46 damage. That was close. It was about a third. 104, 46. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. We got HK Nickel launching his stuff. He's upgraded them to 10. So he is at least trying to stay comparable in the race. Broodling Strike. Obviously, this Guardian has had more time to farm. We'll go back to base with about 1,000 each time. Can use that right there. HK Nickel has just had to survive. He was trying to focus on Scourge, and Scourge did a whole bunch of damage. Took out some people. However, once the Void Ray upgraded the Sadness Bubble, that really kind of was a pretty decent way of mitigating that. I don't like saying counter, but you know what you mean. It is a good way of dealing with that. Yibnas, though, was going for more of the attack. Doesn't have any Scourge. He went for other stuff. And with that, he's able to invest a little bit more money into range and all that. But it's Connectal and Light are just staying by base. They know that it's relatively safer. Like, nothing's safe, but it is safer. Now that the frigate's out, the ability for the blue side to just take out the mothership instead is a lot lower. The Rook Wave warheads do a lot of damage in the area, and are a great way of taking out the command center. But the frigate's dead. It's very easy to get a little bit overconfident, get taken out by the towers, or by one simple mistake, by a round of Scourge, all that stuff. Lang pushing in there. He has 15 armor, 36 base, can be increased. Looks like Rip's going to move on back with about 800 monies, 900 monies, 1533 money from Yibnas. And the Raven is sort of sitting there. Now the Raven, is super helpful with the PDDs, but his general attack is just that. It's just burst lasers. He has Seeker Missile. He upgraded it enough that it chases for 29 seconds, basically a guarantee, especially since they're going to be in base anyway. I mean, where are they going to run away to? But EMP, necessary. Defensive Matrix, super necessary for his allies. Point Defense Drone, super necessary for his allies as well. But all these are, well, I guess these two specifically are defensive weapons. That's pretty offensive, draining energy, kind of necessary for both of them, but they both have 575 energy and 475 energy. So the 300 that can be trained is good. I mean, obviously it's most of that, but they will restore their own energy relatively quickly, and it's not like the entire energy is going to be drained from each one of them. Connectal launching away his Scourge, or his Broodlord, the little Broodlord on Broodlord action. The Darkstorm is being used to protect him. Lang moving in. We got these Corruptors. These Corruptors can take an entire acid spray though. They do have 10.5 armor. Lang having his energy drained. He's going to move on back to base, though. He is, quite hurt. Rip does want to do some damage, but he really just can't. His cloak is, there, but again, this mothership will always see them. I'm going to call it a mothership, because it's called a command center. This mothership will be able to, just head to cloak, so you can't dive in there, but, as soon as you're out of this range, then, you actually are pretty safe, comparatively. Von Neumann, still dead. He does have, Scanner Sweep. Somebody upgraded Scanner Sweep, so if Rip was in there, he could also be Scanner Swapped. Looks like Lang is going to be defensive. Looks like Monkeyfoot just wants to go in there. He's gonna launch his Seeker Missile, okay, but I mean, he has 22,000 life. So what's that really gonna do? Lang moving in, Rip running away. Rip using his energy. He's out of energy right now. Really, he wants to use Purifier Beam, but he's not quite there. Lang running away. Oh, Rip wants to move away. He has to use the blink, but it's on cooldown. He's gonna take a whole bunch of damage. Connectal moving in. Nobody is parasited just yet, and he's gonna move on back. Really smart again. Super cautious defensive play from the red side. They know they want to get kills. I mean, come on, they're super close to being even with them, but they really can't commit too much, confidence, and you can get cocky. Yeah, yep. Lang's gonna launch his acid spray. Acid spray is gonna burn down the scouts right there while he finishes them off. 32 damage versus normal ships. These ships, 60 damage versus capital ships, and what he wants to do is get close. Yibnas wants the exact opposite. He wants to get farther away. 1.92 speed, so he won't be caught by 1.71 speed very easily. For a little while, they would be, comparable, but eventually he'll pull away, right there. Monkeyfoot moving in, Monkeyfoot moving back. Doesn't want to commit too much. All he has is 10 range in burst lasers, 36 damage, but 38 armor. So he will, not be doing very much. He's just going to take them away with his burst laser. We also can't really upgrade it too much. I mean, even if he put all 800 of his money, 900 of his money into burst laser, it would do something. It wouldn't, it wouldn't just be able to sit, and kill everything though. Lang being so defensive. He has his 400. He goes back to base. He tries to upgrade stuff. Looks like Yibnas doesn't want to push in too much. He's got his own, Dark Swarm. He's also getting some help from Monkeyfoot. Monkeyfoot though can't push in anymore. So these these PDDs are doing whatever they possibly can, but you can't PDD any, tentacles. He's just blocking the bile swarms, which attack capital ships. HK Nictel moving back. HK Nictel, has 400. Let's see what he ends up spending on that. Lang is just getting larger with each one. He has a parasite on him, but so they know where he is. But I mean, mostly where he is at base. Looks like he has 38 armor, 1.81 speed upgraded, tentacles upgraded now a little bit more, Bioswarm and Locusts, still somewhat helpful. Definitely good if you are surrounded and you want to kind of farm, or if there's a lot of broodlings on you, they will help out with that as well. It looks like these Tempest House Tempests are going to fly in there to their doom. Looks like Rip's going to move on back to base. 1,200 money. Yibnas, 2,300 money. It looks like Rip is going to wriggle on back to base. He's parasited. Now, with that, HK Nictel and Lang can maybe move past the halfway point for the first time in the game for a little bit. Looks like he's finally going to do that. And this is just really well controlled. But again, Monkey Foot wants to do some damage. I mean, what did he upgrade? He upgraded burst lasers to 10 range, 40, and looks like he has a whole bunch of plasma shields. His shield transfer is at 700 per second, which is a lot. Like a lot. It's very much a lot. It's only helpful against Rip though, or only helpful for Rip though. It will recharge his Rip's shield, but it won't recharge Yibnas's shields because Yibnas ain't got no shields. Lieutenant Dan, looks like, so Rip, if he was ever in a position where he had to dive, he could dive more effectively. But while they're at base, he's, going to be always taking damage. And, Round of Scourge, many of these Broodlords doing some damage will eventually tickle him down. I guess he can be protected though. Now he's transferring 700 per second, which means he has 13,000 shields to transfer. Let's see if that actually does help though. He's using mostly his defensive thing right there. Get Lang moving in there, Lang pushing up there, Lang moving back. He doesn't want to stay too long. He's getting his energy drained because of the Purifier Beam. Purifier Beam is out. Lang moving away. Gibnas pushing up. He's upgraded his Acid Spores, doing 600 damage per little volley. I mean, the Beach Balls have gotten gigantic. We got Broodling Strike. We got Needle Spines. Lang moving back to base. And he does make it back to base. Let's see. HK Nictel's ones, he hasn't upgraded them, so he's just doing 180. He upgraded from 180 21 times to 600. Now they're unstoppable. Now, PDD doesn't block Acid Spores and Broodling Strike, so that actually would be pretty good to do. It's just that, HK Nictel has been upgrading everything else. I mean, all of these cost money, all of this costs energy. He knows he's going to get his energy drained. He just doesn't have $1 million, to spend on everything else. So he just couldn't spend very much on Acid Spores right now. It might be helpful, but everything's helpful. It's just, you can't buy everything at once. You can't buy things on credit. You have to, use what you have right there. Looks like Rip is going to be there. There's also no energy. There's also no money transfer. You can't transfer money to somebody else. So all the people who are dead, they can't transfer the money. There's no inheritance tax right there. Lang's gonna move on up. He's gonna launch his Acid Spray. He's got 600 potential energy, so he can get back his energy relatively quickly. He doesn't want to be EMP'd. Never want to be EMP'd. He knows he's going to be EMP'd though. He knows he can have his energy drained by a Purifier Beam. Guardian can't drain energy. It's just not an ability that they have. So he's safe in that regard. There's no energy drain for the red side. I really feel like if Final Woman stayed, he would have done so much more though. The Battle Cruiser does have the ability. I can't do it for him right now. He does have lockdown if he upgraded that, but he decided to leave. So it looks like Lang is just gonna sit back at base, gonna continue to just take all the damage right there. Rip just picking off fish in a barrel right here. He upgraded his prismatic beam So when you upgrade, you can either choose to upgrade your damage versus capital ships or damage versus farm ships, right? Light units. It corresponds for both. So although it says 7 for phase disruptors and 15 for prismatic beam, they're counting this as the capital ships upgrades, this as the farm abilities. And right now he upgraded his beam fast enough that you can actually do switch over to wanting to farm with your prismatic beam. You start off relatively slow, and you don't do that. But it looks like Lang, nice when he has to move on back to base. He does use the lesser of his energy to use rapid regeneration, pushing himself back up there. Rip, taking a whole bunch of damage though, and now Lang without energy is taken out, and Lang is taken out by Rip. Finally there, but Rip himself is taken out by HK Nictel. HK Nictel gonna move on back to base. He has the healing from the Dark Swarm. His Dark Swarm is back with enough energy to use it, but will that be enough? Yibnas is actually quite hurt as well. Yibnas is gonna push on up. HK Nictel gonna go back to base, and he's so hurt. And now the ghost of Lang takes over von Neumann. So this says von Neumann, but it is controlled by Lang. HK Nictel gonna heal on up. Now it's a 2 versus 2 again. We got a Guardian for the red side. We got a battlecruiser for the red side now, and we have a Raven and a Guardian. Now this von Neumann though is gonna be so out of money. So it's sort of like he exists, but for right now he doesn't have very much health. So he really doesn't quite count as a ship. He really wants to get that money. Doesn't want to push up very fast though. I think right now would be one of the few seconds where he actually really could. HK Nictel is just sitting there, trying to protect himself. Right now, I think they just missed a bunch of opportunity to farm, but they're so used to being scared off by how much damage Yibnas can do when he chases 600 acid spores. Broodling strikes 112, and then it's about a third for the broodlings themselves. Von Neumann, who is actually Lang, von Neumann Lang, has scanner sweep. That's all. He doesn't have very much money to go back though. And the PDs are just so good against battlecruisers. Battlecruisers don't have rip-rave warheads. He upgraded his long-whip missiles to do that. He upgraded some Terran plasma shields up to 10. That's a fantastic thing. Cost 400, but it does help you recharge shields very quickly, even if you take damage. But look, the PDD is just blocking everything that you can do. And HK Nictel and Lang, are going to move on back. Oh, Yibnas, you slapping them down with your beach balls. If he's going to launch his beach balls, each one of those is 600, and he just has the range advantage. Battlecruisers are great attack ships, but Guardians are designed for long distance damage dealing, so they do have that range advantage. Even though Battlecruiser did upgrade his, so it's not super short, it's at least there. Looks like one of the first abilities he's going to buy is Defensive Shield. Good to do. He knows he has been behind on the farming game because this ship has been effectively dead for this entire time, just passively creating income, but not that much. And so he has a Defensive Shield. Defensive Shield gives him a little bit of boost of life, 2,500. There's no armor count on that life, but it's 2,500 life that he doesn't have otherwise. He's got a Wiggler on him. The Wiggler helps, give vision. Yibnas is going to move on in there. We got these 112 Broodlings. Oh, Broodlings, maybe like 50. And how much armor do they have? Oh, they have some Scourge flying in. Scourge flying in, you monster! You're going to do some damage to somebody at base. There's really just no way to fly any further than like the corner of the map, so he are trapped. Yibnas staying within his little defensive gas right there. Von Neumann trying the best he possibly can, but he is only starting his life right now. It looks like PDD's being blocked. Scourge going in, Scourge going out. The Scourge Humanity. We got I'm gonna call him Von Neumann. He got this battlecruiser moving on in there, trying to farm. But the PDDs are blocking all of his lasers, so he can't really shoot that right there. And it looks like, you know, Yipnas is just trying to stay up there. He has his adrenal overload. He did use it. He has 775 potential energy, so he does regain his energy relatively quickly. But if he presses that button, bam, he has even more quickly. You got a gas going up there, protection. Von Neumann trying. He's just going to stay more and more defensive, this Lang guy, because he can't push too much. He wants to get that kill. Look at that Guardian at low health. Oh, wouldn't it be great to kill him? But oh, he can't right there. He's going to get EMP'd Secret Missile. He basically has to take that damage. He doesn't have the energy to recharge to defensive shield right now because he just doesn't have money, and it's really hard to get money when you're always playing defense. But he has to always play defense. Yipnas gonna move on back. Looks like Monkeyfoot has about 900 money. Yipnas has 1,400 already. They're trying to slowly there. Yes, you want to get that money. No, you don't want to die from HK Nickel. HK Nickel is chasing you. Do they want to push too much? Not so much. But you know, there is something like that. Blue side staying together for the kids. Looks like HK Nickel is gonna go on one side. Lang is going to go on the other. Basically, they know that they are less safe when they're not together. However, they're not competing for farm right now, and neither of them is going to pass the halfway mark. Super defensive strategy is helpful though, because I mean, look, the last Brood Lord is kind of pushing up there, and he's going to die, but he was able to hurt the Battlecruiser. Battlecruiser 260. HK Nickel launching his stuff. These will time out by the time he gets to base, but it's at least something. He uses his scanner swoop to see where people are. Basically, that was just defensive, because he was wondering why he wasn't being attacked. And what would happen was he could now see where Monkeyfoot was. Monkeyfoot was going up on the side. They're going to make sure that he not go there. HK Nickel wants to get the soul cache. You can't always know where the farm ships are, but you can kind of like guess. 900 energy from this Guardian. Oh my gosh, he can shoot out 150 Spawn Broodlords and Corruptors, which is fantastic. But he could also recharge his energy relatively super quickly and press Adrenal Overload. Blue side wants to take out this Battlecruiser. This Battlecruiser is in a position where he's going to try to use the Roxas protection. HK Nickel as well, going to maybe launch whatever he possibly can. We got a Blackout being used on Lang. HK Nickel launching his Scourge. Yipnas taking a whole bunch of damage, launching his Scourge as well. But Monkeyfoot pushing up there. He's going to launch his Scourge as well as the It's a Secret Missile, and will that be enough? They will not take out the Battlecruiser, but HK Nickel wants to almost take out Yipnas, and Yipnas is so low in health. He was barely protected by the defensive matrix, and he is again. However, he uses his own Darkstorm to barely get past. He had about 500 life left, but with Darkstorm, he had enough to give himself some life. He's gonna limp on back to base. He, unless he decides to like AFK for a second, he will get back 1.92 speed. Monkeyfoot all alone. He's sitting there trying to farm. He actually has to use his point defense drones to protect himself. They will block the Vikings. The Vikings do 26 damage versus capital ships, and I guess other farm ships. So he otherwise would take some damage right there. He's got 25 ship plating. He's got 18 upgrades on his Terran Plasma Shields. The Terran Plasma Shields don't get armor count like Protoss ones do. And there's a little army of these, and these Corruptors also are helping out against getting some farm. 78 damage. They are designed for capital ship attacks, but they also can one shot some of these not even one shotting. They are doing some damage versus the Phoenixes. Looks like Von Neumann is going to play some attacking with the blue side, but seeing that both blue side people are there, and seeing as he is not trying to die today, he wants to just go back to base. Looks like he has defensive shield, has scanner sweep, 131 money though. He wants to farm, but he can't push anything very far because he does have he's had a lot of things against him, and he doesn't want to push too far with that. He knows that he's at a disadvantage because this wasn't his original ship. And it looks like These Corruptors are going to scare off the blue side a little bit. With that, von Neumann Lang is going to sit there. He has longbow missiles at 10 upgrades. He's not doing damage this whole time. It's just that he is starting a little bit later than everybody else. He has to also protect himself. 3550 is his defensive shield. He upgraded that a little bit. He's going to rely on that with the energy right there. Monkeyfoot, of course, can keep on draining. Monkeyfoot can drain energy a lot. However, HK Nickel has 700 energy to drain, so we can take 2 EMPs and still have 100 energy left at full. Von Neumann can take 1 and still have 175. PDD is being used, blocking some shots in the area. We got some, Broodlord on Broodlord combat right here. We got Yibness pushing in. He wants to take out Von Neumann. Von Neumann does not want to die. Lang does not want to die in this game. He's going to sit back. He's going to, just stay with the base. The base can only heal up so much, but whatever, slight defensive advantage you can get, you should definitely use. And it looks like the blue side just really can't break this line, because the red side has Guardians, Guardian as well, and has Broodlords and Corruptors. So they really can't just dive in there. The only thing they can do is maybe Blackout, but Blackout only works against Battlecruiser. So he could shoot the Blackout against the Guardian. It would do nothing though. All the Broodlords perfectly fine. Yimnas can only push in as much as possible as well, and he's going to stay there. He's going to be in the defensive shield. Did stop some of the Scourge. This is going to Wiggler on the Guardian. The Wiggler on the Guardian is moving there, and now look at these Guardians. They are big boys. Guardians start off with 1400 life, and they upgraded their life to 20100 and 21,000 right there. So they do get bigger, just like Leviathans get bigger, but you barely ever see them this big. And the Wiggler gets bigger as well when you get more life, which is just silly. But that's perfectly fine. It looks like Monkeyfoot is going to move on back to base 1200. Yabdas 1400 as well. And it looks like Lang trying to do that as much as possible. And whenever the Brood Lords and whenever the Corruptors get a kill, that gives it to HK Nickel as well. Looks like the conversation is saying that they want to put the Brood Lords on the side and just try to go for the base, a sneaky kill, which is possible, but it still is findable. Looks like 15 armor, meaning 34. Needle Spines upgraded to 20, 23, so 640 acid spore damage. Broodling Strikes upgraded 25, 120. Let's see what they end up going for even more right there. Monkeyfoot can move on around. He has most of these abilities, but some of them just only work against certain people. The Irradiate only works against the Zerg ships. Blackout only works against Terran ships, and if there were Protoss ships, those as well. Looks like HK Nickel is going to be on the side. He knows that something's up. He knows he doesn't want to be, attacked for too long. He's just recharging his energy. He has the Wiggler on him. The Wiggler will last for a long time. And Lang, who wants to move out, does not want to die, has to move on back to base. Just relying on, being there, being present. But he doesn't have the money for something like, I don't know, Yamato Cannon Nuke, something like that, because he just, hasn't had enough time to farm. It looks like these defensive Corruptor Broodlords were hit by the Irradiate. Irradiate doing, up to 800, damage versus the small ships. But Von Neumann's going to move on back. He's going to move on back to base. Yibnas is just going to keep on trying to punish. Launching Scourge while he's there. Scourge flying in there, doing a whole bunch of damage, and the Battlecruiser is hurt but not quite dead. Yibnas wants to push on in there, didn't have enough damage even though he was launching Acid Spores and Broodling Strikes and Needle Spines and everything else. And Lions, Tigers, Bears, Broodlords, Corruptors, everything, oh my. We got 31 upgrades on the Corruptors. The Corruptors do 105 versus, farm ships, and 298, almost 300 damage versus everybody else. But just not quite enough. They don't want to fly in there. Von Neumann does fly in there. He is quite hurt. Will this be enough? He's being healed by the base, but it's just Red's gonna fly in there. He is finally taken out. Lang is finally taken out in the form of Yibnas, by Yibnas, in the form of von Neumann. And HK Nickel sitting by base, and it looks like these little wall of corruptor broodlords is staying there, protected by monkeyfoot PDDs. It's just relatively unbreakable, but the HK Nickel's persevering and shooting his own guys. He is 725, which is a whole bunch of energy. It's just not enough to have consistent broodlords all the time, every second of the day. It looks like he's going to be there. Now the broodlords are moving in. Now the corruptors are kind of protecting him as well. And Yibnas can just keep on trying to heal himself. Has 925, and which means he's going to recharge his energy super quick. Plus he has broodlords. Plus he can use his Arenal Overlord. And it looks like this command center is just going to be tickled down to base, death by 1,000 cuts. With that, I'm not even sure what can be done right here. We have defensive attacks, and the command center was destroyed, and that is going to be good game. HK Nickel persevering until the very end, and even past the very end. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys press, send your replays to MaffumanCasting@gmail.com. Press like, press subscribe. We're doing Starcraft Star Battle all the time.